Hi everybody, today our team is going to present to you the bright and dark sides of e-commerce, so the environmental impacts of physical flows by taking the case of Carrefour. So this is our ESCP consulting team composed of Michel, Clara, Gabrielle, Marion, Luca, and myself. So first of all, we're going to talk about the context of e-commerce. In 2020, there's expected to be more than 2 billion digital buyers in the whole world, and retail e-commerce sales should generate more than $6.5 billion worldwide in 2023. So it is becoming more attractive for many businesses as it has brought to them benefits such as improving business processes, decreasing transaction costs, and creating new markets. However, environmentally speaking, companies need to start thinking about incorporating environmental demands as part of their e-commerce strategies if they want to remain competitive. While the most popular items when it comes to e-commerce are ebooks, movies, video games, we noted that the online shopping experience is more and more increasing for groceries as well. Here we have chosen to take the example of Carrefour, a French group in the mass retail sector. So why did we choose this company? Because for the last 2-3 years, the company has been betting a lot on the development of its e-commerce. In fact, in 2018, it invested 2.8 billion euros to become the leader in food e-commerce in France within the next 5 years. So now we're going to focus on the impacts of physical flows and the external costs of the e-commerce strategy. So in order to understand what are the impacts of physical flows of the Carrefour e-commerce strategy, our consulting team went on the field to investigate and decided to take the example of one single Coca-Cola bottle. So we built two personas living in rural and urban areas and assessed the impacts in terms of CO2 emissions and costs according to their assumptions on purchasing habits. From what we understood, external costs start to differ where the logistic chain starts to differentiate according to the type of purchasing, which is here offline, and the delivery used. So that's our last mile case. From our research and analysis that you can see on the extended version of the slides, we realized that Carrefour has to manage differently its impacts in rural and urban areas. We identified challenges in areas of improvement, such as reverse logistics and cost of return, and optimization of fuel consumption with delivery consolidation. We also would like to encourage Carrefour to spread its pickup points throughout the national territory and the use of biomethane, which is an industrial ecology process to optimize their waste. So to continue, we'll focus on packaging analysis. So we analyze the impacts of packaging. The main issue is finding the sufficient packaging protection in order for the product not to be damaged if manipulated and displaced. From a sustainability point of view, the aim is to minimize the environmental impact of packaging from a life cycle perspective. On the way to ensure 100% recyclable and compostable packaging by 2025, Carrefour has gradually replaced plastic bags and blister packs by cardboard pallets, maintaining the integrity of the product by incorporating an interior treatment for food contact. On top of that, they proposed a bulk option in stores from 2019 and made it possible for consumers to come to the stores with their own containers for fresh products. As far as packaging is concerned, environmental impacts have a lot to do with consumer behavior and consumer perception of packaging. Some may reuse plastic and paper bags 100 times, while others may throw it directly after use. This is why Carrefour proposes different alternatives for the consumers and empower them in being responsible for their impacts. However, the possibility for the customer to be more sustainable relies mostly in the offline domain. So we wanted to see which options the customer has in the online shopping as well. So we'll then move back to our Coca-Cola bottle. In our two-persona scenario analysis, we wanted to see if within the online case, there's still an opportunity for our persona to be more sustainable. So two options are then presented, choosing either the plastic bottle from home delivery or the glass one thanks to Loop. After making a few assumptions in terms of size and data source, we realized that the plastic bottle might seem less impactful in terms of CO2 emissions. However, thanks to Loop's refill option, the overall impact of the glass option is drastically reduced by reusing the primary packaging. So now focusing on the innovations implementation and the various solutions that Carrefour has. Online retailers urgently need to adapt new innovative solutions to optimize the delivery methods as business-related threats will intensify pollution and traffic bottlenecks in cities. So that's why there are so many solutions and innovations throughout the delivery value chain, from the suppliers to the warehouses, but also delivery areas or means of transport. So in our study, we decided to focus on urban consolidation centers, electric vehicles, and parcel lockers. So Carrefour should invest in these solutions, not only for their business, but also for the environment and people's health as pollution in cities is becoming harmful, basically aiming for shared value. Adapting the delivery systems is a clear opportunity for Carrefour to tackle the issue of last mile deliveries and to differentiate themselves from their competitors, thanks to faster, more convenient, cost-efficient, and sustainable means of transport. Urban consolidation centers, which are shared warehouses where packages are delivered, organized, and then dispatched, with their delivery trucks, would be more efficiently dispatched for Carrefour because they'll have full trucks and faster deliveries due to less traffic, thus reducing delivery costs and carbon emissions as the number of deliveries required would be diminished. An electric fleet would lower their operating costs as electricity is cheaper than fuel, but most importantly would allow for night deliveries as electric vehicles are less noisy. So Carrefour could again avoid traffic, therefore making faster and cheaper deliveries. And using parcel lockers could help Carrefour reach more customers thanks to its 24/7 access. And with parcel lockers also, there are less delivery points, which means less failed deliveries, time saved, and less mileage. So less delivery costs and carbon emissions. Overall, with all these three solutions, Carrefour would benefit from lower operational costs in their supply chain while reducing their carbon footprint, which is a win-win situation. So to conclude on this presentation, we foresee a bright future for e-commerce paved by many challenges, but as the complexity of sustainable development, a never-ending road, always asking for improvements. We are aware of the certain limits we face during the journey, such as the lack of data putting at risk the reliability of our results. However, we try to be consistent and build a strategy to cope with it. Solutions cannot be the same for urban and rural areas, as we know that the last mile delivery is the key. Taking the bigger picture, they also need to be adapted to culture and habits. For instance, we observed that the use of pickup points is clearly democratized in China, while it is not at all in France. One of the biggest challenges we would like to emphasize is education and awareness of all stakeholders. Other than that, consolidation and optimization of material, fuel consumption, and loading ratios are the motto. The role of the government to regulate and incentivize is crucial, as well as to foster collaborative initiatives in the sector, for example, by supporting the physical internet concept. So finally, our consulting firm would like to help Carrefour to build a strong and effective environmental policy for their e-commerce strategy that will help to reduce external costs and on a long-term perspective will be time and cost efficient. Thank you very much for your attention and stay safe.